watching Abundance Show. The Abundance Show is a platform likely an interview series and online discussion forum associated with Global Abundance Organization, GAO. Its core mission is to explore and share ideas, strategies, and innovations aimed at creating a world of abundance in health, wealth, and happiness. This means overcoming challenges through collaborative solutions and sustainable practices. The show typically features leading professionals, entrepreneurs, and thinkers who are driving positive change in the areas like environmental, social governance, sustainable business technologies, technological advancements, and impactful leadership. By highlighting diverse perspectives and actionable insights, the Abundance Show inspires its audience to contribute to a future rich in resources, opportunities, and well-being for all. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Raul Armando Ramírez Mauries, a distinguished ESG compliance expert, tax attorney, and CEO of MAURIES Enterprises. Based in Mexico, Raul's firm helps businesses achieve sustainable growth through ESG diagnostic, smart tax planning, and comprehensive training in corporate responsibilities and governance. His work goes beyond just legal and financial frameworks. He is also a passionate advocate for peace and purposeful leadership, as shown by his active involvement with Gandhi Mandela Foundation, an institute of public policy and diplomacy research. Raul brings a unique blend of legal expertise, business strategies, and ethical leadership, making him an invaluable voice in discussion on building an abundant future of health, wealth, and happiness. Welcome aboard, Raul.
Thank you very much, Safar. Hello, everyone. It's for me a real privilege to be here with you, leaders, innovators, entrepreneurs who believe, as I do, that the future of businesses must be both profitable and responsible. As Safar says, my name is Raul Ramirez, and I'm the founder of MAURIES Enterprise, a consulting firm born from a deep conviction that businesses that lead with purpose and principles outperform those that don't. Why ESG compliance matter right now? Let's start with the basics. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance compliance. It's a framework that helps companies understand and manage their impact on the world. The environmental pillar focuses on how we treat our planet, energy use, emissions, waste, and climate responsibility. The social pillar deals with how we treat people, our employees, customers, suppliers, and all the other stakeholders related to our projects. And the governance pillar is about how we lead our ethics, transparency, and decision making processes. I like to understand that in today's world, ESG is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what investors and stakeholders look for, what regulators demand, and what society expects from us as entrepreneurs and CEOs of great companies. ESG compliance isn't just about meeting regulations, it's about earning trust and building resilience from our entire team. So, this is why ESG is becoming so essential. Companies that adopt those practices are more attractive, to stakeholders and global partners, are better at retaining talent, are less likely to face legal or reputational risks, and are more prepared for long term growth. It's not just about doing good, it's about doing smart businesses. Now, I'm gonna share with you also a little bit about my journey and what I've learned. I'm a Mexican lawyer. I have over a decade of experience advising businesses on legal, financial, and tax operational matters. But more than that, I'm someone who believes in the power of education, integrity, and resilience. I've worked with family owned businesses and mid sized enterprises, CEOs facing tough decisions, entrepreneurs navigating uncertainty, and teams looking to become more ethical, efficient, productivity, and future ready. What I learned is this: compliance without culture is just a formality. But when you align values, vision, and operations, you create something powerful, you create something meaningful, and that will lead to your business growth. And this is what I want to offer you today: not just information, but inspiration. Uh, I think that my company was born out of frustration and vision. Frustration at seeing so many companies exposed to risks they didn't understand, ambition to create a firm that will empower them not just to comply but to thrive. We brought together a multidisciplinary team: lawyers, compliance officers, HR specialists, psychologists, financial consultants, and corporate trainers, so we could create a platform that focuses on business education, regulatory, and ESG compliance, leadership development, internal audits, and risk prevention, and also digital transformation for legal and financial systems. We serve clients across Mexico and are now building partnerships internationally, mostly on the USA, Germany, and Canada. And our mission remains: together building business success. Now, what I hope you take from me today is to first understand what ESG compliance is, what it involves, what is our responsibility as ESG compliance experts, and also to remember that you don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to be intentional. Start small, but start smart. If you can implement one ESG practice, one ESG indicator, is going to be a great improve into your process, your training, your risk prevention and legal protection to your company is going to make that your entire organization will have a great reputation, commercial reputation, uh, in front of all these stakeholders. And also, I think that the future of businesses is not just about how fast we grow, but about how responsible, sustainable, and accountable we are. Transparency is also a great key tool on these kind of services because that builds trust. That builds trust beneath the stakeholders, beneath the clients, and beneath all the person interested in the project.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, your introduction and followed by your whole have brief description. It's comprehensive and you have swallowed a lot of my questions. That's thank you so much for going that. I mean, explanatory, and this was amazing. Raul, the value of in corporate sustainability. Your recent involvement with Gandhi and Mandela Foundation highlights a strong commitment to peace and purposeful leadership. What do you say about this? I mean, beyond being a professional in an advocacy in the taxes and everything that you offer to the businesses, but I mean, how about the social side? I mean, how was this experience?
Well, as I said, I think that continuous training is a very important part of all these kind of services because training will open a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors worldwide. Uh, Global diplomacy and purpose-driven leadership, sorry, I think is also two main tools behind this kind of ESG perspective. Uh, Talking about the Gandhi Mandela Foundation and the IPPDR, well, I truly believe that values have no borders, and that responsible leadership must transcend industries, cultures, and even continents. I have honored to be to have a scholarship of those organizations to become a peace practitioner and a peace ambassador uh, of the UN uh, worldwide. So I started working with them the last week. I think like Thursday, Friday of the last week, and I have the privilege to saw firsthand how social transformation begins with local action, but requires global vision. I was invited to participate in those intergenerational dialogues uh, and have the privilege to connect with other entrepreneurs, ambassadors, and political leaders of a lot of countries. And I learned one important thing, that they told us that to build peace in other countries and to have a great social impact, we have to start within ourselves. Peace begin inside of us, because if we don't feel peace and if we don't have peace, inner peace, we can't uh, share that peace with other people. We can share something we don't have already. And I think this is a very important aspect to consider, uh, because so many times we are so frustrated with the stress and with the problems that uh, the daily life present to us, but to remind that have a balance, a work-life balance, and trying to build that inner peace will deliver the best results for us and for our projects and for our families. I think that those kind of opportunities, of training opportunities, have contributed to me to understand how cultures, how other countries saw these sustainability and diplomacy aspects. And I think that uh, I reinforce something that now I bring into every room, every training, every business coach session I will have in the future, and that is, you cannot speak about business success today without speaking about peace, ethics, and sustainability too. Whether you're leading a company or even a country, you have to be committed to something greater than yourself, because you are a representative of uh, a lot of people, a huge group of people that have different values, different perspectives, different beliefs, and you have to have that great vision of leadership, of global leadership, in order to represent all of that interest collectively.
Amazing. That's wonderful. I mean, without peace, there can't be any prosperity. And collaboration coordination is the new tool technology for the future, and we can co-create the future of possibilities that you're already striving for. Okay, Rahul, how about your venture of UAE that you are? What are you going to do there, and what is that you want to ask the world to look at you there?
That's a great question. I think that uh, the most important thing to me is the legacy I'm trying to build here. We are no longer in an era where growth at any cost is acceptable. We have to have transparency and ethical processes inside our organizations. As entrepreneurs, consultants, and business owners or policymakers, we carry a great responsibility that goes beyond balance sheets, that goes beyond tax reports, or all the other documents that are involved in a daily process inside an organization. We influence lives, we influence ecosystems, institutions, and the generations that follow us, our kids, our grandsons. That is why at Maurice Enterprise, we do not just offer services, we build transformational relationships. We help our clients shift from reactive to strategic, from uninformed to empowered, from vulnerable to resilient, because we understand also that change is a very important part of life. Nothing stays the same. We have to thrive into change and to be uh, adaptable in order to grow. We're not here to impress the regulators. We're here to honor the people who believe in our businesses, the employees, the suppliers, the customers, the families, the investors, and even the planet. So I think that for me it's very important to share with you that legacy, that vision I have to shift from just a regulatory compliance to a conscious leadership. Compliance is only the beginning. True leadership begins when you understand why behind the rules and choose to lead even when no one is watching. And I think that's the kind of leadership we need in boardrooms, in factories, in farms, in schools, in startups, and even in governments. I think it's not about perfection, it's about intention and action. And that kind of mindset is what I'll try to keep uh, transmitting to other people, to my team, and to my clients, and to my allies, friends like you so far, to help other people in all around the world.
Okay, that's amazing. And what is that you want today's entrepreneurs, those who are struggling with their taxation and ESGs, and even I would really request you to please give voice their emotions to the globe. I mean, what's there you can help to the entrepreneurs?
I think that my first advice I would give to them is to don't listen to people that are trying to involve in their vision and in their dreams, because there will be a lot of people that will tell you that it's not possible, that you're not going to make it. But I have a lot of testimonies around the world that if you're really focused on achieving your goals and to building your organization, you will be successful. You don't have to wait, you just have to start to have action, and all the things will just flow. I believe in energies, and I think that if we have the correct energy to let the things grow and connect, they will align naturally. Other thing I would say to them is, let's not wait for the next regulation, let's not wait for the next crisis. Let's be proactive, let's be prepared and purpose driven starting now. I see a lot of organizations that have called me to help them to prevent risks, but they have also a lot of problems, a lot of troubles already inside their companies, and sometimes it's a little bit hard, it's a little bit difficult to implement indicators and risk prevention strategies because the organization is already failing. So w- uh, in order to prevent those situations to happen, is very important to don't wait until the crisis arrive to your organizations. It's very important to prevent and to be prepared. Uh, Also, I think that It's very important to invest in your values, to train your people, to establish a strong governance, corporate governance policy inside your company to protect your impact, and never underestimate the power of doing the things right. Because again, I have met a lot of good people around the world that have opened me a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities, and that's because of my transparency, my ethics, and my responsibility I've shown to them uh, through my work. So if you're an ethical person, if you're a responsible person, it will have a great impact. It will build a great reputation for you. And I can say that reputation is almost the most important thing you have to take care of when you start a project. So I think that that's what I would say to them.
Hey, thank you so much, Raul, for that insightful reply to what I asked you. Future of sustainable business in Latin America. My the question is about the future of sustainable business in Latin America. Okay, Raul, as a professional working in Mexico, what do you see as the biggest opportunity and challenges for the businesses in Latin America when it comes to adopting comprehensive ESG frameworks and contributing to a more abundant and sustainable regional economy?
Well, I think that I tend to be very optimistic in terms of what the future is preparing to us. Mexico is trying to have that uh, outlook of what global trends are transforming the planet, what transitions we have to have in terms of legal and government transitions. I think that our countries are accelerating already their shift toward clean energy, solar, wind, green hydrogen, and electrification. We have a lot of Chinese companies here in Mexico that are offering to us electric vehicles, and that electric vehicles are replacing all the other antique uh, gasoline motor vehicles that we had. Brands like Volkswagen, uh, Mercedes Benz, Mazda, Porsche are now being replaced by all these new brands, Chinese brands like Geely, like BYD, that are offering to us that clean energy and other kind of technology. Also, we have a target to achieve. We have presented an economic development plan nationally in these terms, in ESG compliance and the 2030 agenda of the UN, and we're trying to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. So companies will be required to measure, disclose, and reduce their carbon footprint. So this is no longer optional; it's a business survival factor. Also, investors are prioritizing ESG compliant for portfolios, green bonus, impact investing, and climate-related risk disclosure as part of a mainstream that is trending here in Mexico and in Latin America countries. Frameworks like the EU CSRD, US climate rules, and the ISSB, International Sustainability Standards Board, are reshaping our financial reporting here in Latin America. We are also being forced to be more transparent to reduce the corruption percentages we tend to have in the past in both government and private organizations, companies. So I think that the future in sustainability here in Latin America is going great. I think we're trying to accelerate that transition with policies, with laws, and also with a collective effort between government and companies. so we can be productive and still be competitive with other countries in the world that have already a more advanced transition than us. That would be the case of Germany. Germany is a country where these kind of terms of aspects are already covered, and most of the German companies already have ESG indicators, ESG compliance regulations, and also green bonuses and other incentives to companies and organizations to adopt that perspective.
Thank you so much, Raul. Thank you so much for the lovely and insightful reply. Okay, my last, not the least, but last question regarding, again, I'll your focus to UAE market. I really admire this. In your current program overviews, I would be asking a little question on it that are adaptable for UAE. And this is about ESG compliance and leadership program, risk prevention and internal controls, diplomacy and peace building in business, executive coaching, and strategic training. That's what you're going to offer to UAE. Would you like to elaborate? I mean, give us little insight on all these four areas that you are offering to UAE and other global markets.
Sure, it will be a pleasure to me. Well, first of all, we start with audits. We elaborate audits and reporting in order to understand in which phase or in which uh, stage of all these processes the company that we're trying to help are involved. Because we have seen a lot of countries and a lot of companies that have a great uh, a great development in these kind of services, and others that don't, that they don't understand and they don't know what corporate governance is, what ESG indicators are, how they can implement them. So these reports help us to understand where we are and where we want to be in the future. In a second phase of the service, we start training and elaborating all the documents to help that organization to be professional and to be transparent to their stakeholders. As I said, for me, training is a very important part of these kind of services because uh, training will help people to develop a lot of skills and abilities that they will and they can use to manage their companies in a much better way. So we train the CEOs and the main boards of the companies in order to help them develop those abilities, those skills that we need to develop. And parallel, we start certificating and protecting the company by elaborating contracts, elaborating corporate books, reviewing existing previous contracts with stakeholders in order to see if they're already preventing some legal risks, or we have to have a renewal in those documents. And this is all part of trying to have a professional and transparency vision in these organizations. Then we pass into a phase three and stage three in this service, where we start to to give a follow back to the organization, to the client, in order to see if those indicators and key tools that we deliver are really functioning to the organizations. Because we have to remember, every company and every organization is different, so it's very important to us to build a suit, a personal suit to them, very specific and related to their specific necessities, to really be useful. So we give them a follow up to see if the advices and the key tools indicators we deliver to them are being really useful, so we can analyze and give them another kind of reports that we call them integrated reports, where we join all the important information of the service in order to give them a real tangible advance of the project, how fast we are growing and how fast we are achieving those short, mid, and long term objectives that we set in the initial stage of the service. And in a final phase, phase four, stage four of the service, we just keep in touch. We just keep communicating with the client to see if there's a new law, a new regulation that we have to be certificated on. We will help them to certificate and to be continuously risk protected. That's in a very general term how we work with countries and with governments all around the world. That in that consists our ESG compliance service.
Wow, that's amazing. And lastly, I'll be giving the direct on friendship questions. Okay, I got you from forward community for like numeric for WARD, and that's about climate. And you're their member for your country in Latin America. And I mean, how about that community? How long you been there?
I think that today, like almost 5 years by now.
Wow, that's cool. And how about the impact that you could create in 5 years and the community you could build there in your country and in your city? I mean, how many are there? I mean, could you just get us a brief on that? Just because I'm new to the community and I'm
Yeah.
trying to reach almost, I mean, as many people as I can, just because you're amazing people. I mean, any person who's working for the impact and legacy like yourself is a change maker, and you are the global leader. And as you said, I mean, these the borders can't be beyond values. Values are beyond borders. So I really appreciate the work you are doing. Would you get us some insight into it?
Sure, sure. Uh, I think that I don't have the exact statistics, but I think that when we started giving these kind of specific services to Latin American companies and Mexican companies, uh, well, well, we'd have the privilege of working alongside a wide variety of commercial sectors. I think that not very exactly, but around 78% of the businesses we've advised have successfully implemented their first ESG risk prevention plan within 6 months of engagement. Like around 65% of our clients have reported measurable improvements in their governance structure and internal control systems, reducing legal exposure and enhancing transparency. And around 90% of organizations trained through our digital learning platforms and through our presential uh, training plans have adopted at least one sustainable or ethical procurement policy inside their organizations. So I think that uh, our clients are very happy with us. We haven't lost a single client in all those years working in this kind of areas. And that's very meaningful to me because it speaks about my work. It speaks about the transparency and the trust bond I have built with them to 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 trust in me, to trust in our company, in our services, and to help them keep growing and keep achieving their objectives.
Thank you so much. Last is the message. It's about the message. Message to the planet. Your message to the planet.
Okay, well, I love to close with this final thought, uh, I love you to remind that whatever the human mind can believe, it can create. There's no limitation in your dreams. The most important thing for you to achieve your objectives and your dreams, your plans, is to believe in you, to be responsible. The future is sustainable. A lot of countries are trusting in this kind of shifting, in this kind of changes of giving importance in their organizations to the social impact and environmental impact, also not just the financial aspects. And I think that to succeed in the 21st century, we must invest in our training, invest in us, in an ESG literacy and talent, build responsible supply chains. I mean, to have responsible stakeholders too related to our project, not only be responsible us, but also all the people related to our organization, align with international standards, because that will open so many doors, so many opportunities to you to grow, and also lead with courage, transparency, and a long-term vision. I think that this is the most important thing I would like to share with you. Don't be afraid to chase big dreams, because everything is possible. You just have to trust in you, trust in the process, and train yourself, because training is the most important thing in order you to grow personally, professionally, and economically.
Wow, that's amazing. One of the loveliest of the messages as ever heard. Raul Armando Ramírez Mauries, ESG compliance expert, tax attorney, CEO of MAURIES Enterprise, a fellow from Mexico. Thank you so much for being on the show, and I love to see you again soon. Bye bye.
Sure, so far. Bye bye. A pleasure to meet you.